Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike here. Taking a look at the DRF race of the day for Sunday, June the 23rd. It's race number 9 at Monmouth Park. Let's throw up the field for the Tail of the Cat Stakes. These are 3-year-olds on the turf, going 1 mile and a 16th for $100,000. Wide open on the morning line, Mike. The 6 Carson's Run, 3-1 morning line favorite. This horse was a Grade 1 winner last year at 2, winning the summer at Woodbine. Then was in tough in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Promising enough seasonal debut.
Yeah, I agree with all that stuff. I get why he's the morning line favorite, that it makes sense. I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan of this horse. I kind of hope that he does go favorite in here because I think this race is kind of wide open. A lot of horses can win, and I wouldn't want to show a price on the 6.
This race could come down to pace and trip, so we'll throw up our Time Form US pace projector, and Feltrinelli is stretching out. This horse has speed. They tried to rate him last time out. I think he's at his best on the lead. I think he's going to make the lead. The question is, how far does he really want to go?
Yeah, very valid questions. His turf sprint form is actually pretty good. I do think they'll probably put him on the lead here. And then we'll just see what happens. I didn't love him either. I didn't think he was a great price on the line, but I won't be surprised if he stretches out effectively. He's got the pedigree to do it.
The 1, the 7, and the 9 all have the tactical speed to work out good trips from just off the expected pace setter, while the number 6, Carson's Run, your morning line favorite, has the fastest Time Form US late pace rating. We're going to start things off with an up-and-comer in this division. That's the number 1, Izzy, going out for trainer Blake Kelly. This horse is 2 for 2 since removing blinkers, including this victory at Keeneland last time out. This is a first-level allowance, straight off the maiden win, and he took him every step of the way. Another nice ride from Jorge Ruiz.
He did get a good ride in here. I just liked everything about this win, Dan. He did make a pretty easy early lead in here, but he just traveled strongly throughout this race and then just sprinted away from these horses in the stretch. This is going 1 mile and 3/16. So he's got to drop back 1/8 of a mile here, which I guess that could be a little bit of an issue. But his last 2 races to me are really good. He showed 2 back. He doesn't need the lead to be effective. I think the thing I'm most concerned with him, Dan, is it looks like he really improved with Lasix. And so he's got to take it off for the stakes race. But at the price he's going to be, I'm just not going to worry about it.
One of the keys to this race is the number 2, Noted. And if he does stay at that 8-1 morning line, because that's certainly a fair price based on all of his accomplishments last year at 2, especially where he showed he was one of the better 2-year-old turf horses in the country. Now, he won the pulpit in his final start of the year, overcoming some trouble. And since then, things just haven't gone right. I think strike 1 was the blinkers came on last time out. We usually don't like it when Todd gives him blinkers. Strike 2 might be, since that race, they've gelded him.
He's a real question mark in this race. I think you're right to point out the morning line, Dan, because I think that's a really good price if you want to keep the faith with this horse. His first 4 turf starts were all really good. His last 3 starts are not good at all, and I don't really know what the excuse would be. It's class relief for him. Maybe the gelding helps him. He's hard to like off of his recent form, but 8-1's a good price.
Number 3 is Rose Collector. This is a Kent Sweezy production coming off a 4th place effort in the Jersey Derby last time out. Utilized good tactical speed, thought the trip was there for him, just didn't punch as strongly as hoped.
Just don't like his races so far since they've started back with him this year. I did like his debut win over this Monmouth turf course at a big price last year. I thought he ran well that day. His second start wasn't bad at all. I just don't really like his form since they brought him back so far this year.
Also exiting the Jersey Derby is Mission Ready, who was a giant price in that race and just really never fired, following the horse that preceded him, the 3 Rose Collector, while saving ground most of the way. He's going to have to do more. Maybe removing the blinkers wakes him up somewhat. He'll be a giant price.
I liked that Jersey Derby as a race overall, but this horse didn't really do anything in there. His form since the beginning of his career to the last one, it just doesn't make him a contender in here.
Feltrinelli, the expected pace, won his seasonal debut sprinting in New York. Now, he got away with the lead that day, and he was just saved by the wire in the final stride. They brought him back in the Paradise Creek, a sprint in New York, and here's what he did. He finished 3rd, and he kind of just was rated from off the pace in here, and I just am not sure this is his best strategy. The pace was slow. He had to rally into it. I think if they had to do it all over again, they would have gotten more aggressive.
I think that's probably right, but there's nothing wrong with trying something different with a horse like this. You know, he was stepping up into a stakes race off of a maiden win. They tried to do it a different way. He's also on short rest here again. It's about 2 weeks since the maiden win. He runs on fine at the end of this race. I think they'll get more aggressive here. Again, he's got the pedigree to stretch out in distance. He's back with George Weaver now, who was serving a suspension for that last race. I mean, there are things to like about this horse.
And the horse he outdueled for third, he came back to run second in allowance at Churchill with an 85 buyer. So he's faced good competition. He has upside. He has speed. We'll see if he wants to go this far. Kind of a speedy pedigree. Carson's Run did win the Grade 1 Summer last year as a 2-year-old. And in his first start this year, he ran fourth in the Woodhaven Stakes, Mike. I thought it was an okay performance as a building block. He should be sharper second off the layoff. I'm not sure how short of a price I want to take because this is a pretty competitive field, but he's has some merits.
He does. I mean, I just wasn't a big fan. I know he got a Grade 1 win last year, Dan. I didn't think that was a good field that he beat at Woodbine. And listen, he won his debut at Saratoga. I just thought he was kind of more professional than anything else that day. I did not like his loss in the With Anticipation. I thought he had no excuse that day and got beat by a filly who had the same trip that he did. I just didn't like that performance. His Breeders' Cup, to me, there was no excuse. He just wasn't good enough in there. I'm just not sure how good he is. And if he's going to be the favorite here, I'm betting somebody else.
Abrumar reeled off 3 consecutive wins down in South Florida, then finished behind Noted at Churchill Downs. I talked to Safi Joseph after that race. He felt this guy didn't like the sort of wettish turf course that day. They brought him back in the James W. Murphy. He ran just fine, an improved third-place effort. It's nice to know that he's learned how to sit off of horses because I was a little bit concerned he was starting to get speed crazy.
That was a concern for me, too. The other thing that can just concern me about him is I had a tough time evaluating him, Dan, because those wins, the 3 wins down at Gulfstream Park, he just got perfect trips in those races. And so I just didn't know how good he actually was. I'll say this about him. I didn't like him that much in the Murphy last time. He did not get a good trip in that race. He can get a way better trip in here. I expect Paco to be going forward with this horse again. I think he's going to be right up close to the pace. I think he's super dangerous in here.
Abrumar finished third in the Murphy. Here's the runner-up performance from Crystal Quest, who's the number 8 on Saturday. Like Abrumar, this horse won 3 consecutive races down in Florida over the winter. And I thought all in all, this was a pretty good run, Mike. He had to wait a little bit down towards the inside. He kind of was stopped entering the far turn. Fulmineo got the jump on him. Javier Castellano, after the race, told me if he gets clear on the turn, he wins.
That's how it looked. He ran really well regardless, but he had serious trouble in this race. We picked up this replay at the top of the stretch, Dan. You can just go back. Everybody, you got free formulator PPs for this. Go back and watch the full replay. And around that final turn, this horse checked really hard behind horses coming to the quarter pole and really lost his chance there. I still thought he ran well. It would also be worthwhile to go back and watch Abrumar on the final turn because he got totally stopped behind horses and I think lost his best chance as well. These 2 horses are both serious contenders in here coming off of really tough trips.
Coming off of a 2.5-month layoff is the one that will complete this field. That's the number 9, Foal Nelson. This guy won 4 in a row earlier in the year, late last year, earlier this year. Didn't run particularly well in the Transylvania last time out, but was hung out in a tough outside post position in a race that produced a couple of next out winners. And the 3rd-place horse, that horse returned to place at Churchill in that Grade 2 with an 85 buyer.
Yeah, that race has been a little bit productive. It was a good field anyway. This horse, it's not like he ran horribly in there from a tough post. I don't know, Dan. I thought this horse was the toughest call in the race. He won his first 3 career turf starts. He won them all pretty easily, and he's got the right running style for this race. I wanted other horses in here, but I think this horse can be pretty dangerous. I just didn't know what to do with him.
Before we take a look at our top selections, please click the subscribe button on the Daily Racing Form YouTube channel for the latest DRF videos. Top pick time, Tail of the Cat Stakes, Sunday on the Jersey Shore. Izzy Dioro is all the upside from this inside post. I expect Ruiz to tuck in behind the leaders and try to work out the old pocket trip.
Yeah, I'm just hoping he gets the right trip in here. I just like his last 2 races quite a bit. I think he's headed the right way, and here he's probably getting overlooked in this race. Maybe he just falls into a trip from the rail, Dan. He's going to be a good price in here.
Curious to see what we get from Abrumar. Maybe if he gets a cleaner trip. I think he drifts a little bit. I'll play Noted off of his back class. Maybe he improves first-time gelding. I take no less than 9-2, though, and with Pletcher calling the shots, it's possible I won't get that. 1872 for Mike, 2576 for me. It's the Tail of the Cat at Monmouth. Good luck.